What's good? What's good? It's your boy Micah back at it again after taking a 2-day hiatus because of the 4th of July. Happy belated 4th to all of my American friends, you know what I'm saying? The Americans abroad, all that good shit. Today, we're going to talk about Lightworkers and how you all can get into necromancy without having to go directly into the baneful, dark side of things. Without having to, go into stuff like hoodoo, Haitian voodoo, that kind of thing. Now, to start off, the thing with Lightworkers is that we as black magicians have to stop underestimating our fellow Lightworker brothers and sisters just because they're on the love and light train of bullshit nearly all the time. Because some of them, yes, are weak, but a lot of them are militant as fuck with their shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all heard stories of how the light or the person working for the light has once started out with a good cause. They wanted to help people and all that. Then all of a sudden it turns into a tyrannical call from the divine to end the darkness wherever it resides and all the other kind of shit, and all the bloodshed and shit that occurred from that. This kind of has ties to Christianity, Islam, and fucking Judaism, because in a way they are light workers. I'll cover that in another video. But basically, for you light workers who need to get people expedited or expedite them out this universe into their next reincarnation or whatever the fuck, there's multiple things you can do. I'm going to start with the basic technique of helping departed spirits cross over, because that in and of itself is a form of light necromancy. So most of you light workers already know what the hell I'm talking about. You cut cords, you fucking resolve the karma of the spirit that's trying to cross over, that's attached to the person or to the place. Give them peace, solace, and then they leave, right? Well, you can reverse engineer that. When you find an entity, let's say in a haunted house, or if you find something attached to an enemy of yours or a narcissistic person, and you can tighten the cords that are already there. When you do this, you'll weave the spirit into that person's flesh so tightly to where it essentially becomes a walk-in. Now, for those of you who don't know, a walk-in is when another soul, through maybe a traumatic accident or something like that, pushes itself into a person so completely that they start to incarnate into that person's body. Sounds confusing, but it will be made clear in just a bit. Now, when you do this, you're going to find that the person you targeted and you're doing this to starts to take on the traits of the spirit that you sent them. This is very similar to what I talked about in a previous video about getting a spirit of the dead to possess a person and kind of eclipse them, so to speak, or to go through their shadow and fucking eclipse them. But the difference is that you're not necessarily tapping into sheer baneful forces. You're just opening the door wider for that spirit to take control of that person and deal them whatever harm or karmic shit is necessary in order for them to, get the message. Another thing you can do, especially if you're involved in Reiki, vibrational energy resonance and attunement or shamanism, that kind of thing, is that you can simply cleanse them. And when you cleanse them, too much of any good thing can turn negative and bad. When you cleanse them, you'll start to drain them of all their energy. This starts to have a decaying effect on the ego as well, especially if you're dealing with narcissistic people. If you do this with them and you repeat the cleansing for like 7 days in a row, you'll start to notice they feel drained. They start to look physically bad, because the cleansing has now turned into a eroding, so to speak. It's the same principle as water going through a small crack in the earth. With time, that crack will widen and you will see the lack of dirt and substance that's there. it will start to dig deeper and deeper and deeper until a wide ravine and gap is formed. It's the same concept when dealing with these people. Another thing you could do, for those of you who have access to like the Akashic records and things like that, is you can go into the records and fucking activate that person's karma. Now, this is somewhat baneful, but not really, because the person is simply getting what the fuck they deserve. This especially works well for those people in our lives who seem to get away with every single fucking thing that they do with no consequence, like just a stroke of luck, and they're just narrowly avoided getting arrested by the cops for murdering somebody. You feel me? When you activate their karma, a wide variety of things can and will happen. Maybe their connection to you will be severed, causing them to move away somewhere, causing them to drive 800 miles to another state, only to get robbed, beaten, and shot when they get there. Because you're working now with cause and effect. And when you do this, wild shit is going to happen. They could probably develop AIDS out of nowhere. They don't need to be gay. They don't need to be fucking born with this shit. The universe can play tricks on a motherfucker and alter their past to make something look like it appeared or it was there, when in reality it really fucking wasn't. Because all is illusion, right? This world is Maya, and Maya, illusion, can be manipulated. Please keep that in mind. Now, when you're working with karma, some of the most advanced light workers know that there are ways to erase karma. So you can stop, quote, learning your lessons, and you can stop fucking, you know what I'm saying, having to heal old wounds and shadow work and all the other kind of stuff. So karma also has ties to memory. And this goes into traumatic events that happen in that person's past life or in their childhood that is stored within their shadow. Now, how can you use this in a more necromantic setting? How can you use this knowledge to really fuck with the person when you're sick of them doing whatever it is that they're doing? Simply tighten the energetic connections that person has to their shadow. Tighten it up to the point where it affects their memory, and what they thought they forgot starts to resurface in their mind. This is somewhat similar to PTSD, but on a spiritual level. Certain things in their environment triggers them and brings up old wounds, which then starts arguments. It starts fights. It starts, sometimes, if you aggravate it well enough, bloody murder. You feel me? You start to put in negative traits that the person forgot that they had. Maybe they're a fucking freshly converted Christian or something when they used to be a Ku Klux Klan member. That kind of thing. And all of a sudden you reignite that hatred, they confront the wrong African American, boom, they get a bullet put in their heads. Feel me? So that's just some of the things that you can do. You can also use sacred geometry, certain shapes, such as, I want to say the tetrahedron, if I'm not mistaken, is a very fucking negative shape. And you can load a person's body through visualization and energy work with those fucking shapes and cause them all kinds of illness. You can put a fucking cube around them, an energetic cube, and it will trap them. It will trap their spirit. It will trap their soul. Combine that with the fucking counterclockwise spiral to draw in certain kinds of energy, and then you can really fuck with a person. You can fuck with their mind, their energetic body, their light body, that kind of thing. There's many fucking different ways you light workers can get into this baneful stuff without having to tap directly into the darkness. Because light can be some of the most vicious shit known to man. What is the motherfucking first thing you see after a nuclear bomb goes off? Light. And along with light comes fire or heat. That's why light is associated with the fire element. Now, in terms of something I said earlier about Christianity, Islam, and Judaism being connected to or being a form of light work. That's actually what it is in some cases, because some Christians on this planet are secretly practicing magic, which, okay, that's cool. But they're doing it in a totally different way. They're using their knowledge of sacred geometry, chakras, how the light body works, evolution and incarnation in order to enhance their resonance with their deity, with their spiritual practice. Sometimes to the degree of fucking Knights Templar type shit, where they be like hexing and cursing motherfuckers because they won't convert to their fucking religion. See, this shit goes way beyond just physical bloodshed and some fucking jihad and shit. The jihad is actually on the motherfucking spiritual level against light workers and dark workers alike. So you light workers are gonna have to know this shit on both the dark side and the more love and light side in order to protect your own selves and protect your friends as well, and those, you know, who you care about in your possessions. Now, in relation to direct energy work, such things as Reiki, fucking shamanic energy clearing, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. There are ways to alter the current of Reiki itself to include certain baneful aspects, again, without tapping into the darkness. The way I suggest doing this is to fucking do whatever you do for your normal Reiki practice or whatever, draw whatever fucking symbols and all that other kind of shit, and do a regular healing on a person. A simple healing. But you'll pollute it with negative intent, which has been known by multiple light workers to cause the exact opposite results that should be there. Because the most dangerous people on this planet are healers. Because if we know how to heal a disease, we know how to fucking cause the disease too. So you simply reverse engineer the process of what you're doing in order to bring about the result you desire. Now, some people will say, well, Reiki can't be used for that. You know, that's dark Reiki or whatever. But Reiki is neutral. That's the thing. Reiki is so fucking neutral and so fucking pure of a current that the slightest negative intent you have within you allows you to exercise that level of control over such a thing. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. There's a lot more I could say concerning light work. Actually, before I end the video, one thing I do want to talk about is give a little guidance for dark workers or black magicians who are going up against light workers. Because one of the things they may do or may try to do is blast you with love energy. You know how some people who are abused by narcissists refer to that kind of tactic as love bombing? You know, doing favors and shit for you in order to fucking get closer to you and exploit you. It's literally the same thing here with light workers. What I mean is that they will attempt to surround you and shroud you with love energy in order to open a gateway to astral project to you, most oftentimes when you're asleep. What they do afterwards, and I'm speaking from experience here, is they use the light to try to purge you of what they perceive to be evil or darkness. Now, for us black magicians, those who are really resonant and fuck with the dark side hardcore, this is seen as a attack, because it is. It is literally a attack. And what is deliverance to one person is torment to another person. And this means of purging your body, soul, and mind of the darkness is actually a torment method to make you go back to the light, so to speak. This can be found not just in the light-working New Age community, but in the Wiccan community, in the fucking Golden Dawn, in the other light-based magical systems or solar-based magical systems. Sometimes, depending on, again, if you're fucking with a Wiccan, a hardcore militant fucking Wiccan, they'll use the opposite light of the sun, which is the fucking moon, to fucking fuck with your mind, cause insanity, to break your mind, sometimes with the aid of a deity, and to alter your spirit, which thus alters your energetic currents, capacity to work with the darkness and work with magic. It is very tough to fucking reverse such a thing because you're working at a really fucking deep level. However, for you black magicians, you dark magicians, what you do is you fucking cleanse with darkness. Use your regular curse breaking, curse hexing, demonic invocation, etc. But you're going to focus really deep on your spirit. We're not necessarily going from the outside, the flesh, in to the spirit. We're working from the inside out. You'll invoke whatever energies you work with, and you'll let them essentially purge your spirit of the current that's trying to fuck with you. The Wiccan stuff, the light work, or whatever it is. This works especially well if you got a Reiki treatment from a practitioner who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and now you're experiencing negative side effects, that kind of thing. You let it rise up from your spirit into your soul, into your energetic body, your light body, all that kind of thing, and you let it flow out of your flesh. This will cause physical symptoms such as, or physical symptoms that mirror a detox, frequent urination in the bathroom, fucking sweating, hot flashes, all that good shit. Your body will start exhibiting what's going on with your spirit, and once you're fully purged of that shit, you'll be back in control. Your mind, your reason, your rationale will be restored. Also, another thing is that some militant Christians that fuck with magic, or Islamists, or Jews, will fucking attempt to inflict you with a divine madness or fervor through the breaking of your mind. If you are sick at the time this goes down, you'll find that you suddenly were healed, quote unquote, and all of a sudden, now you're thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe it was my magics or whatever, but at the same time, you're also having thoughts of shit like repentance. You feel depressed out of fucking nowhere. You feel sorrowful. You start thinking, you know what, maybe I should start to leave the path or some shit like that. That right there is or should be a fucking clear signal that something is very wrong. What this means is that whoever attacked you, they used the energies of your soul and twisted them to heal you, causing a quote miracle, but they did so at the cost of your mind, your rationale, your reason, that kind of thing. To remedy this, you will have to break the quote healing that was done against you, because it was actually a very sophisticated curse. When you do this, you will fall back into the very same illness you just got healed of, quote unquote. But this will give yourself an opportunity to work your own magic. The reason we stick with black magic when we're sick is because we know how to warp our energies without breaking our mind. That's the purpose of the fallen arts of healing. Working with demons like Marbus, or maybe another fucking goetic demon or something like that, or working with a darker god of healing. They know how to sustain and entwine the energies of the soul to such a degree to where the body or the mind is not sacrificed for healing. The flesh is empowered to sustain the soul. The soul is empowered to sustain the flesh. The spirit is empowered to sustain both. You feel me? So keep that in mind. Now, also, let me say this about healing. Healing work, and I hate to fucking depart from necromancy, but I gotta say what the hell is coming to me. Healing work is very neutral. It is very sensitive to the intent and the energies of the situation. So, if you are so thoroughly aligned with fucking darkness to the point to where the celestials and angels hate you, when you fucking call on them to heal you, depending on their will, their thoughts, the spark of divine essence that's within them, and them examining the situation, the healing could go very well or it could go very wrong, just depending off of that alone. Same thing when you're working with demons and whatnot. This is often the case with some form of death curses, where the spirit is called to heal them, and when they get there, the energies of that death curse places them under a type of thrall or enthrallment, and therefore they're motivated to aggravate what is already there. And so basically you have to be very, very, very freaking careful with that kind of thing. You have to know the situation. You have to know what exactly is going on. You have to know your intent and the intent of the being that is helping you in order to fucking get the results you desire. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. I'm going to do another one soon, continuing this series, and then we're going to hop into how to deal with narcissistic people and abusers in your life. Whether it's your mother, your father, your boyfriend, your best friend, whatever the fuck it may be. So until next time, stay safe out here. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and all that other bullshit I'm supposed to say. Peace out.